Hello again. So these videos are in 15-minute increments, and if I'm really engrossed in what I'm doing, I'm not paying attention to the timer. So back to where we left off. So I have these two curved pages. I am going to copy them. Sorry, holding down the Shift key, copy and paste. And then I am going to go up to Object to Transform and Reflect, which will flip them. I'm going to put them up here. Now this is not a perfect right angle, this M, so they need to be altered a bit to fall in, similar to what's happening on the other side. Okay, so I think the M perhaps isn't stretched perfectly evenly, because notice how when I put these together at the center, what's happening here, this overlapping, and what's happening here are not exactly the same. So we're going to keep fiddling with this a little bit. And how I'm going to do that is by putting in some rulers. So I have the ruler, sorry, I'm going to put in some guides. So I'm going to put a center guide here. I am going to bring down another guide for where I'm keeping the top of those pages, and another guide for the top of the second page. And then I am going to put a center point. So if I click over here and I drag, this is going to put my 0 at this spot. So now 0 is here. So if I drag a line from the side here, I see that's a little bit more than, sorry, a little less than 3/4 of an inch. And if I drag one over here, it's less than 3/4 of an inch, but a difference of probably about a 1/16, 1/8 of an inch. So that is where my discrepancy lies. So I am going to bring this one in. I'm going to unlock the guides, go to View, Guides, Unlock Guides, and move this over so it's more in line. Yep, right there. And then I will select these points. I dragged over to select the first two, and then I'm holding the Shift key to select the next two. And I will just, sorry, I'm going to go back. I'm going to lock my guide because it was moving the guide at the same time. So I am going to Guides, Lock Guide, and I'm going to move my points over. Okay. So now I am going to move this grouping here so it's more in line with what's happening on the other side here. And some things still aren't even. Okay, that's the center. All right, so I'm going to pull these out. Okay, so another point that I want to work on is looking at the thickness of these. When I pull out, it looks a bit to me like it's plumes on a bird's head instead of pages in a book. So I think I want to make them thinner. So these aren't even right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this whole thing, copy, paste, and move it up out of my way. And then I'm going to get rid of these two. And I'm going to thin these out by just by pushing right there. And then I'll get rid of this one. So I'm pushing right there in the middle. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to make it a little thinner. Okay. And bring the rotation out a little. I'm going to copy, paste, play with that rotation a little, copy, paste, and then I'm going to, I want these to line up a little bit more, move this one, okay, and then rotate. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this group, paste, and go back up to transform, reflect, and flip. Okay, you can see I can noodle with this for quite some time, and I may just do that. But what I want to do are show you some other tools too. So I have this in a pretty good place. I'm kind of okay with that. It looks a little bit like hands. I think what I need to do, sorry, I say I'm going to stop and I can't stop. I'm going to move these back so they looked like they were too close together. I need to have this more of an arc there. You know how pages would sort of arc a little bit more. Okay, and then pull this one. Pull this one back down. Okay, I'm going to copy these three. I have them all copied, not sure. I'm going to drag over. Okay, copy, paste, reflect one more time. Move this over. Okay, and even though it's not perfect, I'm going to stop. So what I want to show you is I have all these different shapes here, right? So there is a tool that will let me manage this and make it all one. And that's called the Pathfinder tool. So I don't see it over here right now. So I go up to Window and I go down to Pathfinder, and here is my Pathfinder tool. So when I add in a tool, there's groupings of tools. So it's also showing me the Align and the Transform. So I'm going to just use Pathfinder now. So see these different images? This shows what Pathfinder does. And I am going to not touch this for a second. I'm going to show you with this circle, and this circle. So there's these three circles. And if I take all of them together and I hit this, it combines them into one shape. I'm going to go to make this the stroke so you can really see them. Toggling right here, okay? So you can see that. So I'm going to ungroup now, and I'm going to hit this button. And that goes and gets rid of the other shapes. There's no other shapes there. It just took that piece. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to show you what's happening here. It just gives me that centerpiece. And here, so I'm going to do Command Z, and here it cuts them out. So these are actually separate pieces. It doesn't look like that, but if I go to the direct selection tool, there are different separate pieces. So you can just imagine what this could do. It's really a wonderful tool that can help you in so many ways. And then I'm Command Zing so that I can show you that you can click here and it gives me all different pieces, okay? So you can play and experiment with those. But what I want to do in this case with this one is grab all of this and make it one solid shape. So there is my one shape, okay? So I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to take my book, which looks a little bit too much to me like little hands, and leave it there. I'm going to get rid of hide the guides right now. I'll just clear them. And I notice that there's a little white space in there. See that little spot right there? And that is because they weren't totally overlapping. So I can go in here with the direct selection tool. I can go and click on that and delete one, delete two. And then I notice that these points aren't nice and smooth here. So I can go in here and noodle a bit where I pull this point up. I'm going to pull this one in and pull this one in, and that tidied that up much more, a little more. Okay, there I go. And so there is read more. So then I'll take these other things, keep them off my page. I will fill it in my page. So this is a 10 by 10 inch page. You can make your page whatever size you want because it's scalable. It's completely scalable. I can make it small or big. I should show you though, if I shrink something very small, you can see it fills in. So very often companies will make a version, an alternate version of a logo that will be very small, that's actually redrawn a little bit so you don't have that filling in there. Okay, so then you are going to save your file with your last name and as a PDF, and you're going to upload it to Blackboard. Okay, good luck, have fun.